Good morning, Yasha Allah. I am grateful for the opportunity given to me on your behalf, on the behalf of Yasha Allah, to come before you, brethren, uh, with another installment as we move towards the Day of Atonement. You can imagine that with such a word and the feeling, the pressure, one might I guess I could use the word normally, one might normally be beset with. You might also ponder what yours truly would be or might be facing off with. This exercise, I want you to understand, is no light matter. And I'd like you to help me as I try to put it into a proper perspective. I mean that myself, having recently, within the last 2-3 months maybe, within that time frame, having only now, within that time frame, from the age of 1 week and a couple of days, from that early period of my life, having been embattled and suppressed, oppressed, broken down by the action of my aunt making agreement with the Baphomet within the first 2 weeks of my life and having me locked down under the Freemasonic order for sacrificial offering. And now, having been newly released from that terror, tremendous terror, here I am as I believe that the Most High, Yahweh, our Father, our power, has called me and positioned me to do what I am now striving to fulfill, to bring a word of hope, courage, strength, and what's the next word I need? I want to talk about or mention the idea of being a servant, a minister to impart strength to Yasha Allah, the chosen of the Most High, Yasha Allah. So I consider, as I have been going along with this presentation, a sobering thought toward the idea of what do we call oh, the word is going away from me. But the idea is about teaching or proposing to or declaring to have a word from the Most High to present to the Akayim, and to have the weight of that responsibility pressing upon you. And being in the effort of delivering that word, having to face off with fears, certain fears and doubts. You think about, for instance, the word has gone away from me again, the idea of heresy, the word heresy that speaks about giving a false interpretation of scripture. And well, purposely, and in many cases with some individuals, they purposely try to mislead. But the Most High forbid that we, in this ministry, in the closing moments of our enslavement to the heathen, that we should be untrue in the delivery of the word of the Most High to our people. And I suppose then you could imagine me being in the position that you might categorize me as merely a baby, having been delivered from lockdown under the Masonic intentions to make a sacrificial offering of me in IT. That was to be the end of the venture, the exercise of being a sacrificial offering. And so I am yet still, in a manner of speaking, well, in actuality, I am yet still dealing with IT as it is the place where I, as the sacrificial offering, should end up. That's where I should be. That's where I am, because I have had to face off with the fallen Levitical priesthood that were to be the recipient of the sacrifice or the sacrificial offering as I was being offered to be. And so I'm actually begging you for your prayer and assistance through the Ruach to help me to hold up. I want to stress it again. I feel myself to be like but an infant in terms of ability to transmit in a manner that would be befitting of Yasha Allah, or one who's called to impart the word of the Most High. We look that individual should be sound, and the teaching should be towards being accurate. I put it that way. And so, with all the thought of the possibility of saying something out of the way or not as uh, true as it should be, that makes me think. And so, again, I crave your prayers. And as much as I am appealing to our Mashiach to guide me and help me to be on the right course, the right track. Because the matter that I'm proposing to Yasha, it's a very serious one when we talk about atonement, Day of Atonement, and the ending of slavery, and moving towards preparation for dislocation from the slave quarters and on towards the homeland. It's a serious proposition, and I'm trusting the Most High that He will hold me up, that the Mashiach will hold me up, as I have endured a serious bout of weakness, in every way, physically weak, body battered and shattered by the experience of being used for sacrificial offering. But I want to encourage Yashiala this morning that in spite of, or appreciating the battle that I was engaged in, appreciating the depth of experience that came with that proposition, that comes with a threat, a threat of annihilation. The experience, I mean, the knowledge that one gains in such an experience is invaluable, to the point that I can now say that through all the pain and suffering and the hurt and the brokenness, real brokenness, yet I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh and that lean to the knowledge of His word and the power of Warawak. I'm saying, in short, that I see this exercise that I am engaged in as very serious. And, I think the thought comes, that, well, what if you're wrong? Serious thought. But I'll put it to you this way. We're still moving forward towards the atonement. And, but, I put it to you this way. At this moment, at this time period right now, let's say I was wrong, or that I am wrong, in any point, I find myself willing to risk being wrong at some point, rather than to be or to find myself in a situation of refusing to give the word that I believe the Ruach of Alahaya has shared and is sharing with me to share with you. You know, the scriptures have a thing about what they call false prophets, right? So I would not like to find myself in that condition. I'm putting it to you, though, as we move forward. I am willing to take that risk of being wrong. Because, you know, the future is ahead, and I don't know everything. I know hardly one little thing. But I'm putting it to you that I am willing to go ahead with what I see as the pathway that Father Ruach is leading me to help Yasha Allah. And that if I had to be chastised for being wrong in any matter, I'm willing to take it for the opportunity to be of assistance to the kingdom purpose. And that in the case of being wrong, you know, the Most High got some beating for you if you're handling his word wrong. I'm putting it to you in simple terms that even if I were wrong at any point, I'm willing to throw myself on his grace and let him help me to do better. But I don't want to miss out on doing exactly as I believe he has called me to do, and then find myself in opposition to his will, as I understand it. That's the position I'm in. So I am willing to take any chastisement for being wrong in any point. This is what I'm saying to you. In order for the opportunity to win some, as the Apostle Paul would say, I want to win some. So I'm striving to give you the word to the best of my ability. And I still need you to pray for me. I don't know how many of you are praying for me, but I can only throw it out there and allow the Father, the Ruach, to move you to pray for your little brother Banyamin, who has newly come out of almost 70-year battle with Freemasonry. And, you know, this is where the Father has put me, the Ruach has put me. It's very challenging. And so we move along with the subject, purifying the sons of Levi. As we get nearer to the 2,300 days that rings in the awesome fulfilling of the cleansing of the heavenly sanctuary, if our compass is right, more thought about what it was like for our forefathers and mothers and their children, their sons and daughters, to get cleaned up and gather themselves at the foot of Mount Sinai. Remember that experience? Our forefather Moshe, the Levite, had to get them in order to meet with the Most High, get clean up and gather themselves at the foot of the mount to receive the presence and the word of Al-Hayim from Abba Yahweh. as our forefather Moshe carried out his duty or duties of preparing our forefathers, preparing the people of Yasha'Allah or Yasharah to receive Torah, the laws, statutes, and commandments in preparation to meet with Abba Yahweh Al-Hayim. You go to Exodus chapter 19 and you find that Moshe is instructed well, let's read it, what it says. The verse I'm looking for is Exodus 19:6. Now, this is in preparation for our forefathers to meet with Abba Yah, the mountain. See, at this time, the total and complete presence of the Most High is meeting with Yasha'Allah. See? And so he lets them know in Exodus 19:6. Well, let's go up one verse from 5, come down. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, above all people, above all people. I want to emphasize it for the nations of the earth, but most especially to Yasha'Allah itself. People of Al-Hayim choosing, people that he chooses, a people that is near to him. And so he's coming now down to the Mount Sinai to meet with them and bring them closer, give them instructions so that the relationship, the bond between father and children grows stronger. Verse 6. Well, let's go back from verse 5 again. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. So we are clear in the understanding that the Most High, Al-Hayim, has chosen Yasha'Allah. We call it Israel in today's bastard language. And so he says, all the earth is mine. All the earth is mine, but I'm choosing you to be my peculiar treasure. This is good for the nations of the earth to hear and understand. So the pressure you're putting on yourself as the other nations, the pressure you're putting on yourself to seek to thwart the purpose of Yahweh Al-Hayim, the pressure you're putting on yourself is something you could do without. But if you want the contest, as Pharaoh wanted it in the old days, what can we say? Welcome to the battle. We know that our Abba will win, is going to win. But there are two sides to the matter. As his people, Yasha'Allah, we got to stand firm in faith and courage. Encourage one another too, but in faith and having the courage to stand for our Al-Hayim and for his Ruah and the Mashiach that he sent to be a sacrificial offering, a personal sacrificial offering. We're going to get into that as we go into the book of Hebrews in a little while from now. But now, you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me. And verse 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy, or set apart nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharah. So you're looking at chapter 19 of Exodus, and our forefather Moshe comes to prepare our forefathers in the wilderness at Sinai, comes to prepare them to meet with Al-Hayy. You know, when you go through the chapter, you see the instructions how they're supposed to, exercise themselves in the purification, cleaning up themselves, the clothes, and all of that, because they're coming to meet with the king. All right. So as we prepare for the examination of our people, I'm talking about today, as we prepare for the atonement exercise, we are reminded that we are before the presence of Al-Hayy. In this coming day of atonement, we're going to be in his presence. We review the manner of our forefathers' presentation of themselves according as Moshe was told to prepare them. So, having been instructed on how they were to conduct themselves, in verse 8 of the chapter 19, our forefathers and mothers, all the people answered together and said, this is what our forefathers said, all that Elohim hath spoken, we will do. Emphatic, with confidence and assurance. Well, you know, there's every good thing to have an experience with in the presence of the Most High. Well, some of the experience are hard that you will find yourself engaged in. Yeah, some hard experiences. Amen. Excruciatingly painful experiences in dealing with Abba, Yah, our Father. Such experiences that would drive many to turn away from him. You remember our Mashiach dealing with the forefathers in Yasharal in the day of his revealing, when he came to pay the price, be the sacrificial offering. He had to ask them one time, because so many were turning away from the word that he brought. He had to ask, the 12, will you also go away? This word is very engaging, brothers and sisters. And so, in view of the action of our forefathers in the land of Yasharah, within the last couple thousand years now, as we behold them. Now, the backdrop is Moshe, our forefather Moshe, and Yasha Allah at Mount Sinai. And you know, of course, that they said, all that Elohim said we will do. And when you fast forward it to the time of the Mashiach in the land of, let's say, Israel, as it's called today, watch the difference that you find in the fact that at Mount Sinai, all tribes are present, all of them. And it does say that all the people said, all that Abba Yah has said, we will do. Um, and when Shia came and he did his ministry, you find that a whole lot of people turned away, couldn't take it. Of course, you find with Yasha Allah, as they were around the mountain, and they gave that resounding claim of assurance that all that Elohim has said we will do. You go further on, and after having been in his presence, the presence of the Most High, and hearing his voice, you know, they one time they were so assured that they want to face off with him and get some questions answered from him for their own, for their purposes. Say, Moshe, you and the other boys, you all taking too much on yourself. We need to see this Most High and deal with him ourselves. Moshe said, all right. Takes the word to the Father, and when the Father spoke, he said, oh, no. You speak with him, old Moshe, you speak with him. You know, it seems like if he speaks with us, we can die. Okay, so now they learned some humility there. What are we saying to him today? What is Yasha Allah saying to him today? We have had the experience, by and large, in this present era, even as we come to the end of the enslavement experience of Yasha Allah, we still have to battle with the question today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. How is it, Yasha Allah, that after all this beating you have received, the Most High has to, well, it's all right. He got to do it some kind of how anyway. Encourage you, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. What have we been doing, Yasha Allah? See, this is what the torment is coming to get from you. Do you still want to harden your heart after all the beatings and slavery? After all the destruction of your family life and your personal desires towards being a whole individual? Do You're still willing to oppose him? And he's asking, I mean, today if you would hear his voice, harden not your heart. So, at the end of 400 years of brutal enslavement under Esau, and with the addition of the apostate priesthood of Levi coming together with Esau, what are we going to say? What are we saying to the Mashiach? I mean, you see, you recognize that there has been complicity between Esau, the hateful one, and Levi, the fallen one, coming together to destroy Yahweh. And the text says in Zechariah, Yahweh shall save the tents of Yahweh first. And this is the exercise we are engaged in, even as atonement is for all the 12 tribes. We have primary responsibilities. And the first duties towards Yasha'Allah as a whole is to save the tents of Yahweh. So we've had a breach in Yahweh, in so-called Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. We had a breach. We've had a serious breach that we now recognize has to be repaired. Esau and fallen Levi, commanded or commanded by the chief or the fallen ones, Gabriel, Satan, and the demons, his fallen brothers. All these have been arrayed against us, Yasha'Allah. But it's not time for you to lose heart. We are soldiers. We are soldiers in the army of Al-Hayam, Yahweh. And he has committed us unto his son, his word that he sent into the flesh by the power of the Ruah. He is the captain of Yahweh's host, the captain of our salvation, as the apostle puts it. I think it's Apostle Shaw. The Mashiach is the captain of our salvation. And the question has always been, well, in terms of the coming of the Mashiach to pay the price of the sacrificial offering, the question was always, what will you do with Mashiach? You know, when you read we call the New Testament, and you see the going back and forth of Yahweh with the Mashiach. Because remember now, all the 10 tribes were scattered out a long time ago. And I come to continually remind us that most of the scriptures we're dealing with, the people interfacing with the Mashiach, is Yahweh. 3 tribes. These are the ones that gave the Mashiach so much trouble. caused him so much pain. Yes, Yahweh caused the Mashiach pain, excruciating pain, in the effort to get them into a position of humility and to recognize the love for Elohim. So loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him, in Yasha'Allah, may have eternal life. Oh, Shakam. All right. So the call is, if you will hear his voice, calling you, calling us now, calling unto us as he has put forward the claim to bring us out of slavery, which he saw as the primary objector, now inclusive of Levi, the fallen Levites. These entities have set themselves to oppose the will of Elohim and of Al-Mashiach. That's where we are, Yasha'Allah. So are you thinking then to faint in the battle? Do you now want to finally give it all up? Mashiach laid his life down as a guarantee for you and me, for us to be cleansed and made whole. It's a process, Yasha'Allah. It's a war, all out war, because you have all the satanic, demonic hosts that live here in the earth with us, that are under the seas, in the mountains, in the dark, shadowy places of the earth, and in the upper atmosphere, in the other galaxies, and so forth. All these opposition forces against the Most High and against Yasha'Allah. I shared with you before, but all these entities were getting life from you, Yasha'Allah. I want you to think about it. All the entities of the satanic hosts, along with Esau and the rest of the nations, all of them were getting life from you. Can you understand that, Yasha'Allah? You find yourself, weary, worn out, broken down, tired, exhausted, and your daily attention or application to your work wears you out. But in addition to that, all the people of the nations and the satanic hosts, all of them have been sucking life from you. I want you to get that in your heads, Yasha'Allah. This is why you have been so tired and drained and weary all the time. All these entities were sucking life from you because being in opposition to the will of Elohim, for to cut them off, shut the operation down from imparting his life unto them. I want you to get the picture, Yasha'Allah, what you're dealing with. All these entities sucking and draining your life because of your rebellion, our rebellion to the will of the Most High. Most High gotta, throw his hand up and say, all right, I gotta let you go. Let you go where you want to go. You don't want to abide by the straight and narrow of the Torah. Give you some wide open spaces And you see what's out there. Have you seen Yasha Allah in 400 years of brutality? The Esau, your chief human adversary, and now with the help and of your other fallen brother, Levi, these forces have been arrayed against us. Don't lose hope, Yasha Allah. Don't fall out because you're tired and you might be weary. Yah understands. That's why he put you out to be enslaved, that you can get some sense, that you can understand that these nations of the earth ain't on your run. And they are have been against the Torah of the Most High from the get-go. They want nothing to do with the Torah. You know what they want? They don't mind you and I straining our little human selves, straining, trying to reach the stature of the Mashiach, having sweaters, drops of blood coming out of your pores, because you're straining to give attention to the Torah, to do the will of the Father, as the Mashiach sweat drops, seemingly of blood, straining with his will and intention to hold the word is getting away from me, but you can imagine when you have an operation going on where you have what you call let's say some liquid or gas that you're containing, and it's under pressure, and you got to operate your release of the contents, that gas or substance, whatever it is, and you got to work it right so you don't have an explosion or destroying your industry. And so the Mashiach having the charge to hold everything together, as we read about in Hebrews, holding everything together as the word of the Most High. See him sweating drops of blood in Gethsemane, seeking to seal the deal in the courts of eternity, sealing the deal in full view of the satanic host. He lays his life down, took that pressure, but he held everything together as the word of Yahweh's power. He's holding everything together, holding all the winds of strife, all those forces. He's holding together while he's making himself a sacrifice for you and me. Get the picture, Yasha Allah? Because now we are, how should I say it? We have been under siege for a while now, because Esau and the nations have been so spoiled by having us as their meal night and day and in between. And all the galaxies of that have the fallen ones living on them. All of these sucking life out of you, Yasha Allah. You're not aware. The Mashiach wants to save us from these things, but we wouldn't listen. Now we're doubly angry at him because he let us go as we requested. We were like, let me go. When you have little children or little child, boy or girl, but we think of the boys as being, more strong-willed, generally. So you're holding them and you're walking with them, and then their whole intention is to break away and, do something that they see as pleasurable, or something they want to do, and you're trying to restrain them because there's danger, basically all around. So you're trying to restrain them so they don't get hurt. But they start crying and going on and pulling and whining and whimpering. Look, picture that, and then picture Yasha Allah as a nation of grown-ups, let's say, and the father got his Torah in your face, showing you how he wants you to live, how he wants you to do, to keep the bond of peace and the relationship with him. And like the little baby, he was scowling and frowning up faces and then talking back. Father says, I need you to go here. And you're saying like, man, I don't want to go there. This is how you're addressing him. This is how we have been addressing him, Yasha Allah. Like we were talking to some equal. Oh, I don't want to do that. Can we do something else? Got the Torah there for you. Guide for you and me. And we stiff-necked. Well, let me move on a little bit here because we got some grounds to cover. Not going to be very long, but hear the word. We have some knowledge of Torah, and so we come to refresh our memory and knowledge of Abba Yah's instruction. Go with me to Malachi chapter 3. I want you to see something wonderful, something very necessary for us to interface with. What's that? Malachi chapter 3. And in the first verse, the Most High says, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the power whom you seek, the mighty one whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple. Even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith Yahweh of hosts. Now, when we carefully examine these scriptures, and in Hebrews, I forget, maybe chapter 9, but in there somewhere it says, lo, I come. In the volume of the book speaks of me. I delight to do thy will. Oh, by Elohim. And I think most of us, if not all of us, agree that this is the position of the Mashiach in the day of his flesh, in his humility unto Abba, his father. In Philippians, we are told that being found in fashion as a man, being found in fashion as a man, being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself. For those of you who got the Joseph is the daddy syndrome, can you find Joseph in there? Can you find Joseph's son, his blood son, in there? Being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death. But now, so Malachi talks of the messenger of the covenant. In a verse right above there in chapter 2, it says, ye have wearied Elohim with your words. Yasha Allah, you wearied the Most High with your words. And in this modern day, it is found that you commit yourself to wearying him further. So you say, this is what you say now. You said it back there, and you're saying it now today. Wherein have we wearied him? This is the answer. When you say, everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Most High, and he delighteth in them. Or, where is the Elohim of correction? Now I want you to see the picture here. Ye have wearied the Most High, the scripture saying here, verse 17 of chapter 2 of Malachi. It's an emphatic statement. You, Yasha Allah, me, we have wearied our Elohim, our power. And then we turn around and ask, and what? What have we done to weary him? When you say, right here in the verse, when you say, everyone that doeth evil is good in sight of the Most High. Let's get an example of that, of this everyone saying, saying in Yasha Allah that everyone that does evil is good in the sight of the Most High. Let's show you how you say that, Yasha Allah. You have a teaching going on out there that all Yasha Allah shall be saved. Sound familiar? But then you will retort that the scripture says that all, let's say the word Israel, that all Israel shall be saved. And you know what you have done with that? You have not correctly divided the word of truth. And you're teaching out there on the field of battle, you're teaching that. In fact, I heard you, some of you, saying that the brothers who, and sisters, those who refuse to do the will of the Father, the Most High, now, they don't have to worry, because the time is coming that he's going to, He's going to make it good. Make up their errors. Make up for their refusal. Make up for their obstinacy. Make up for their rebellion against Torah. And he can make up for that and save them. So all Yasha'al shall be saved. Really? You're going to bring a rebel in the kingdom who has no desire or intention to follow Torah and to do the will of the Mashiach. Because this is where the fight is, you know. At the last, fight is against Mashiach. What will you do with Mashiach? Whose son is he? That's the big question. And sad to say, but it is true that many in Yasha'Allah today push out their lips at the power that is able to let you go right like that. You think you got some authority to stand against the Mashiach, to deny him, and then, like you say here, everyone that does evil is good in the sight of Most High. You want to include them in the kingdom. All Yasha'Allah shall be saved. Which kingdom you gonna get them in? Rebels. Disturbers of the peace. Don't want no correction. Not willing to strive to follow the Torah. In Yeshayahu, in Isaiah, I believe it's 52, chapter 52 or 53, it says, all we, like sheep, have gone astray. All of us. The whole world lieth in darkness. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Abba Yahweh has laid the iniquity of all of us upon the Mashiach. Gave his life for you and me, for Yasha'Allah in the first instance, because Yasha'Allah is going to be the keepers of the kingdom. Yasha'Allah will manage the kingdom under the Mashiach. 12 tribes, 12 gates, 12 foundations for Yasha'Allah. But where's room for the rebel who wants to do evil, who wants to curse the Mashiach, who wants to assign to Abba Yahweh a feminine spirit? Who wants to assign to the word of Elohim, Yahweh, come in the flesh? You want to assign to him the title, son of Yosef. Can't stand it that the Most High is sending the word of his power. A word with power. A savior, power. Savior who got power, man. To wash you, to wash us, and clean us. To take the burden of sin and rebellion. And say, Father, I'll take it. I'll take the stripes for that. Because, you know, Gabriel, all the fallen ones, and the nations, they quite delighted to throw some blows on you for an error, for misconduct. And haven't they done that well these 400 years? Man, they put some blows on Yashala and slavery. You know, we shared with you some of the highlights of what took place in slavery that they hid away from us, but the Ruach revealed the actions and the secrecy of slavery, the high lights of their evil, their evil, destructive intentions against Yashala. In slavery, we come to the end. Father's bringing us to the end of it now and revealing their secrets so that they could see that we now know what they did to Yashala in the heyday of slavery 400 years ago. The Father has revealed it today that we could see and make, I guess, make an adjustment in our minds and our thinking and in our deliberations toward a decision to hold the principles of Torah as our guide. Yes, we have been brutalized. We have been called all them funny names that Esau made up to call us. Yeah, ripped us to pieces, bloodied our backs, bloodied our faces. We look at the Mashiach and see how badly Esau did him. Pilate, Herod, Esau. Oh yeah, they had a time with the Mashiach. And you know, with their master, Gabriel, Satan. Oh, they had a time. All them evil things. They had a time. They'd say, oh, we got him now. And they worked their will on him. Took it to rescue you and me, Yasha Allah. So how are you gonna what does the scripture asks, what shall I give? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? When the cost for your soul is so precious. The requirement was the sacrifice of an innocent lamb. Innocent lamb. A lamb without spot and without wrinkle. Tell me what man you can think of in the pantheon. Let me use that word facetiously. In the pantheon of humanity, what man you can find without sin, without a spot, without a blot? What man? What man can you find, Yasha Allah? You who are ranting and raving and raging that the Mashiach has to be the son, the blood son of yourself. You big on that. You swell your chest out. Because you want to deny the place of the sin bearer, the mediator. You were glad to see our forefather Moshe as a mediator between Yasha Allah and Yahweh in the wilderness. Moshe stood before the people and the Most High and mediates. You know, the Most High gave his directions, instructions to Moshe. Say, tell him this, show them that. Then Moshe goes in, tell him this, and shows them that. And then they say, all right, tell him this and show him that. And he carries it back. Moshe was the mediator between the Most High and Yasha Allah. Get the picture. The Father says, these sacrifices and offerings, they can't cut it. I'm going to prepare a body for my servant. Behold, my servant, he says, whom ye see, he shall suddenly come to his temple. And when he came, there was a whole lot of contention. You read what you call the New Testament, the renewed covenant. Read it with some understanding, Yasha Allah. If the man that we call the Mashiach is in the whole volume of the book, you think that could be a natural human being that you read about in Hebrews chapter 1? That the Most High has sent, or sent the one whereby he upholds all things, the word of his power. That's the son of Joseph. You think so? That's the son of the one with the faggot spirit. Yasha. But so look here now. Let's look at Malachi. Well, yeah, we've gone that we have the Most High said we wearied him. We weary him out. When you reject his provision, what else is he going to do if you reject the provision that he made available to you? What else is there for you to do? You remember how many times you put some licks on them babies when they refuse to understand what you desire them to do? You put some licks on them, man. Put some licks on them bottoms, them legs, to help them get some understanding. This is what the Most High did for us and all them enslavement periods. Didn't want to listen. That's why we had to go through all them enslavement periods. Now you come to the final one. What shall you do with Mashiach? What you gonna do, Yashala? You're gonna rebel some more, yeah? You get what you come to get. You continue the rebellion. So we read in Malachi 3:3 that this same messenger in chapter 3 of Malachi, who suddenly comes to his temple. Watch this now. The messenger of the covenant. What is the covenant? After those days, I will put my laws in their inward parts. They shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. I will save them. I'm going to lay down my life for them. According to the book of Philippians, being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, and the death on the stake. I mean, them Romans made his flesh raw. Esau was full of glee and willingness to put some punishment on the Mashiach. the Savior of Yasha Allah and of all who come unto him. So, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delighted. Who would be the ye? It's got to be those who accept him. To as many as receive him in Yochanan, John 1, and I believe it's 11, somewhere in there. To as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Allah. You see what our responsibility is, Yasha Allah, to the brethren who have hope in Mashiach. To them, he gave the power to become the sons of Allah. And what's happening to the rest? You think that everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Most High? You say all Yasha Allah are going to be saved? Got to be joking, Yasha Allah. What kind of joke is that? Can two walk together except they be agreed? So where's the Mashiach going to be taking it? With a bunch of rebels. You don't want him? You call the spirit of the Most High a feminine spirit? You don't want him? So where's he going with you? What can he do with you? You want him to save you? And you don't have no agreement with him? You don't want to agree with him? To the Torah? And the Torah says you should love Allah, your power, with all your soul and mind and strength. Doesn't say that. But here it is. He tells you to never mind them people who say they don't want you to be free. Don't give no attention to them. They want to prescribe instructions, laws for you to follow, as when they had you under the ban of complete control, when the Most High released you to them to chastise you. But now he's called for your freedom. And they say, oh, after all those attempts in North America in particular to divide up Yahweh, throw a couple million this way, throw another few million the other way, and kill them while you're going, shoot them down, massacre them as you going along. But the Most High says, you remember in Zechariah had the watchers under the olive trees, watching all the actions, watching what Esau was doing. And so he says, that's what you're going to do with my children? All right, let them come to me. The Most High has called for a release out of your filthy, stinking, evil hands, Esau, and with your agreement with Levi, fallen Levites. You hatch up your plans. You want to stop the process, the work of the Most High, and the freedom of his people. But now, we're talking about the purification of the sons of Levi. And isn't it a blessing to have found the reason why Yahweh has been so kept down, kept back from their purpose because of the blood oath of Esau and Levi together. But now we look at this verse that as we, as Yashala, as Yahweh in particular, for he shall save the tents of Yahweh first. And as Yahweh has sustained a death blow, if you will, in the departure of Levi from the priesthood, that is in Yashala, in Yahweh, the three tribes. Levi put a death blow to Yahweh in the blood oath covenant with Esau to destroy, to efface the formation, if you will, how the Most High put the tribes together. Levi had set up a situation to obliterate, to put out the light of Yahweh, who is the leader of the 12 tribes. The Most High says he got to save Yahweh first. And so we're looking at the coming back of our brothers and Levi. And the prophecy foreshadows that when it says in verse 3 of chapter 3 in Malachi, and he, well, let's back up a little bit. We are discussing the proposition of the sending of the messenger. Yes, we recognize that the messenger was Yochanan, the baptizer, who came before Mashiach and proclaimed him the Lamb of Allah that take away the sin of the world. He came, and then Mashiach made himself known in his own way, that the scriptures concerning him were being fulfilled in the presence of our forefathers and mothers, right in his day, with him before their eyes. And the question is asked in verse 2 of chapter 3, but who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi. You get that? Would you think that Levi needs some refining and purification in view of the fact that as a tribe, they have fallen away from the grace of the Most High? And at the leadership level, you have turned your backs on the priesthood and on the Mashiach. The real chief priest. But this verse here is the prophecy of reclamation, reclaiming those in our brother Levi. Though the leaders have set their hearts against the Mashiach, we are told that the same Mashiach that he shall purify the sons of Levi, our brothers, so that Yahweh may be made whole again. We want our brothers in Levi to see this prophecy and he shall purify the sons of Levi. I think that many of us, many of you brothers out there, would remember the musical title of Handel's Messiah, where you have Esau, I believe it is Esau, Handel, Esau giving a beautiful, if I may say so, a beautiful musical promoting the good news of the Messiah, Handel's Messiah. But watch it now. The same Esau who gives you this beautiful Handel's Messiah production has gone before. Now, how old is Handel's Messiah production? I mean, 100 years or what? I don't know. I don't have a trace on the time frame when the production was created. Couldn't be so very long, I don't think. But you have, I believe, from my way of calculating, the time frame from when the Catholic Church and Esau came together with Levi to create that bloodhood bond, to destroy Yahweh and to impede the work of Mashiach. This is like 200 years ago, right? Approximately, a little over 200 years ago. And how long has Handel Messiah been in the public domain? I don't have the time right before me. I believe though that it hasn't been equivalent to the time of when the blood oath was closed or agreed upon between Esau and Levi. So if the covenant of the blood oath was brought into ratification, into existence over 200 years ago, and Handel's Messiah, I mean, probably is, you know, maybe 100 years. I don't know. We could check it out. But I want you to see the irony of it, though. And that is not to say that we shouldn't have Handel's Messiah. But look at it, the evil of Esau. He gives you the Handel Messiah. And he makes a blood oath with Levi to destroy you. In fact, to destroy the credibility of the Mashiach. You want to destroy the credibility of the Mashiach. Before or to deter the tribe of Yahweh from progress and from success in fulfilling their duty as the leader of the 12 tribes. And I think then that this Feast of Atonement seems to be a good indicator of what Hamashiach will do for Levi. Let's hope on that. Let's believe on that. That in this atonement, Mashiach will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, who were under the oppression of the leaders of the intent to destroy Yahweh by eradicating the priesthood unto Hamashiach and giving it over to Gabriel, Satan, the fallen one. Isn't that beautiful that the Most High preserves the covenant relationship and the sacrifice of the Mashiach, so that even and although Levi in principle has made this evil blunder against the Most High, against the Mashiach, yet because of those in Levi who desire to repent and return to the Most High and to submission unto the Mashiach, he, the Mashiach, shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi. So, brothers and sisters, as we come into atonement, we certainly seek the prayers of all Yasha Allah for the security of all Yasha Allah. Yahweh in the lead, of course, and all our brothers and sisters of the other tribes. But the Mashiach sits as the refiner, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, our brothers who have been in that fallen state, or who have been brutalized by the leadership of fallen Levites. Pray for their recovery and, lift them up in prayer that Yahweh be reconstituted, reordered, and brought back to his power, to his consecration in Mashiach, our Malach. I think it's beautiful that the Mashiach in this atonement will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify Levi, our brother, the ones who are willing to return and commit themselves unto him as our high priest. Bless you, brothers and sisters. In the name of Most High.